Thank you for clicking on the video. I'm glad you're giving me another opportunity to get you to subscribe, like, share, do whatever fancies your soul, right? So today, it's a couple things that I want to talk about. Bad Bunny, Diddy again. I'm just so ready for him to just go on, hit on, and go where he gonna be at. Kim Zolciak. If you guys are Real Housewives of Atlanta, you will remember her. She's one of the OGs. And then a couple other things too. So we're gonna go. Now this is a new screen, so bear with me while I let me see here. Okay, so I need to remove the thumb. Okay, I'm gonna put up the slides. Now I need to take down. Hold on 1 second while I do this. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Let's see. I am looking for this one thing. Okay, perfect. All right. So now YouTube can look at it too. Twitch is just so nice and friendly over there. So anyway, like I said, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. My day's been going all right, I guess. It could have went better. It could have been better. Still working on my project. I'm actually wearing it now, so I have to finish. It's like 3 parts. So I have the first part done. Now I'm working on the first part is done. I'm wearing it now, so that was the second part. So I got one more thing to do, so I'm gonna be working on that for the rest of the week. And then once it's done, I am going to take it to a manufacturer so that they can, refine it. Because let me tell y'all something before I get into this story. So, like I said, I'm working on this project for this gadget, right? And whether or not it goes anywhere, it's something that I personally need. So that's why I'm doing it. And so I met with this guy. Well, I had called around and I had got some appointments set up with 3 different 3D model companies. I need to stop saying so much. But anyway. And so I met with the first guy that I met with, I showed him, because what I did was I said, well, let me at least try to get this idea out of my head. And so I got it out of my head onto a sketch pad. And from the sketch pad, I said, well, let me get a 3D printing machine and let me see if I can, print it myself. So I've been doing that. And yeah, that was a process in itself, like learning how to do it, of course, with anything, learning the whole thing, the shish kebabs, right? So I got to the point to where I had the pieces that I needed, but it wasn't like right. It's kind of like learning how to write versus somebody who is just, their penmanship is just wonderful. And so I said, well, let me try to reach out and see how much it'll cost to get someone to refine it. Like, I have the idea, I have and so I reached out to, like I said, to a couple companies. And the first guy that I talked to, at the end of the day, the man said like 2,200, and I was like, hell nah. And what really did it for me was he was just like, oh, he just made it seem so simple, which made me feel like, well, if it's so simple for you to do, then why wouldn't it be? All I need to do is just like put the time in, put the dedication in. And then if you're telling me like it'll take at least 6 months, like 4 to 6 months to actually hopefully to see a finished product. And then I still have to pay you like 300, like I think 300 every meeting. The first meeting is of course in the 2,200. But then if we gotta and you gotta remember now, I'm just new to this. So of course with me doing it myself, it's been so if I would have been paying myself, I would have been paying myself quite a few times because I've tweaked it because of course the idea that I had in my head on the page is not necessarily, you know what I'm saying? So I had to tweak it a few times and change it around a little bit to make adjustments, right? Because I knew what I wanted. I just didn't know how I wanted it to look in a sense. I had it. So, um, when he told me $2,200, I was like, you know what? Let me continue to work on this myself. And then if it, I'm just going to keep doing it myself. And so I've been working on it myself for the past few months. I got two different machines. I got a QIDI, Aquidi, Aquidot. I got that. It's an X Max 3. And I have a Adventure 5M Pro. Yeah. And so, because it's one part of it is soft, and another part it has to have structure, right? It has to be very durable. And what I found is with the X Max, you have to continuously, and this isn't a review, well, it's like review, but you have to continuously keep loading and unloading it because the filament is so delicate, it keeps jamming. So I don't like that. So I've sent one back and I got a new one, and it still does that. But the whole objective is I just want to get a working product for myself with the specs and everything, so that I can go to a manufacturer. Because that's what the guy was telling me when I had met with him. He was just like, what I'll provide for you STL, that's a file, and then you could take that to a manufacturer, and then they will refine it so that it'll be like a product that you'll get off the market. And I'm thinking to myself, if I'm gonna pay you $2,200, I want it to be a refined product so I could take it. You get what I'm saying? So if I'm gonna pay you $2,200 and you're gonna do what I can do if I put my mind to it, then I might as well, right? So that's what I've been doing. And today, like literally today, I'm actually, like I said, I'm wearing it. Today, I have the first and the second piece, they are done. So now I just need to do the third piece, which I will have done hopefully by the end of the week. And then from there, I'm gonna, be, playing with it, making sure that it works. And once that's done, then I'm gonna reach out to that first guy because I still kept in contact with him because I told him like, that's not really what I want to do right now. I'm gonna keep working on it. But he did tell me during the conversation, like, he has manufacturers and, he has, he has contacts basically. So once I'm finished with it, then I'll reach back out to him to see if he, don't mind linking me up with a couple manufacturers. And I'm willing to pay them to have the refined finished part. I'll pay them the 2,200 or however much they want to a certain degree. But as far as with just paying you for something that I could just, and then he said 6 months. I see if he would have been like a week, but 6 months, I wouldn't even had it in my mind in a week. But 6 months, sir, that's enough time for me to learn how to do it myself. So that's what I did, and that's what I have been doing. So I am so happy right now. So we're gonna see how this go. And yes, I do plan on showing it off once it is done because people might be interested or whatnot, and we'll see. But it is what it is. I'm gonna try it out. If it doesn't work, at least I can go to my grave knowing that it was something that I thought about, I attempted, I could not figure it out, and that was it. Now, then anyway. So let me first start off with Diddy, because we just got to get him out the way. You know what? It was a couple of clips that I did want to put up. I think, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to do it later when we get to that topic. So, yeah. So, okay, because this is going to be we're going to be everywhere with this conversation. So, if you new to this, be true to this and just tune on in, because I'm going to be everywhere, because we wandering around. That's the name of the channel. I wander, because I be wandering. That's why they call me Wanda, because I be wandering freely at that. Well, not really too freely, because I have a Frenchie and American Bully. And so if you hear them in the background, either fighting or tussling or sleeping, because the Frenchie be snoring like a grown man that worked a 38-hour shift, child. Now, speaking of grown men anyway, so Diddy. So the feds are coming for Diddy's mansion. Yes, civil fortitude could cost him Star Island home and millions. Y'all ready for this? Let me get on in here. Okay, hold on. Let me look real quick. Because sometimes it don't even be right. Am I moving? Okay. I'm talking. The lips are moving. All right. Okay. Work with me. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Listen, share, like, and subscribe. I'm not begging for no money. I'm really not. I'm not asking for no money. I just want y'all to come along on this journey. Because what else we got going on? There's too much going on. But anyway, and we're going to get to that too later. But I hope you're having a wonderful day. Or cooking or something. Because ain't no worse. Ain't nobody cooking nothing. You know, that's the best part of being, like, single. Or just, you know what I mean? Like, if I don't want to eat, I might go hungry, you know? Or I might wake up in the middle of the night and go at the refrigerator and just stand there and just eat some food. Yeah, you know what I mean? And then my little dogs, they come walking, and my dogs love carrots. I love carrots, too. So we'll eat carrots, you know what I'm saying? They be bothering me, too. They come tap on me. I'm like, what you want? Then I say, all right, come on, show me. Then they'll take me right to the refrigerator because they want some carrots. I got to get their asses up out of that because that shit is annoying at times, okay? I'm thinking they got to go to the bathroom. They going straight to the kitchen. So anyway, Sean Diddy Combs, a.k.a. the Diddler, a.k.a. Did he do it? Is in a world of trouble. And this time it's not just about criminal charges. So people are confirming that federal agents are now targeting Diddy's fortune, including his famous Star Island mansion in Miami, under a powerful legal tool known as civil fortitude. So sources close to the situation tell us that prosecutors are preparing to seize the property and millions of dollars in assets connected to his alleged crimes. Now, why would they seize it though? Because I thought that was like part of the RICO. Now, listen, I am not a lawyer, but I was under the impression that the RICO, if he would have been, convicted of the RICO, then they would have been able to tie that to like the business and money and homes and cars and take, you get what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, we don't know where all this stuff, we taking everything. But if it was just for the prostitute, then like why I'm not on the man's side, but I'm trying to figure out why they taking the home. Because if he paid his lawyers, I mean, I know he could pay, court costs, fees, restitution, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to figure out what's tea. Maybe they'll tell us in this article. Let's go ahead on and finish reading. So the government has already moved in on several of Diddy's possessions. They've seized some cash, some electronics, and the hard drives, right? But the next move, insiders are saying, could involve his luxurious South Florida home, where some of his most explosive allegations in his ongoing case took place. Okay, let's see here. Okay. So if you don't know what civil fortitude is, it's one of those legal terms that sound complicated but boils down to a simple and very serious idea. It was originally designed as a way for law enforcement to go after criminal crime bosses and drug cartels, people who use shell companies and cash-based empires to hide their profits. The law allows authorities to seize any property that's believed to be connected to a crime, especially when the owner has been convicted. Now, over the years, the government has expanded the reach of this law far beyond drug trafficking. Now, in many jurisdictions, if a crime is committed on a property such as prostitution, money laundering, or human trafficking, the government can argue that the property itself was part of the illegal activity. That means a mansion, car, or even a business can be taken if prosecution can show it was used to facilitate a crime. Now, in some cases involving prostitution and trafficking, these laws are exceptionally, listen, these people are coming for this man's stuff. like they said, in some cases with prostitution and trafficking, these laws can be exceptionally aggressive. The goal, according to prosecution, is to dismantle the financial networks behind these crimes. That's why even properties alleged used during criminal conduct are now being targeted. So while both types of fortitude can strip someone, civil and criminal, can both strip someone of their assets, the process works very differently depending on which one you use. So with the civil fortitude is a lawsuit against the property itself, not the person who owns it. The government must show that the property was involved in a crime or represents proceeds from one. This standard, known as preponderance of the evidence, is now much lower than the beyond a reasonable doubt threshold used in a criminal court. Now, let me scroll on down now. Okay. Now, the most shocking part is that the prosecution don't even need a conviction to move forward. They can seize the property based on speculation or preliminary evidence. Sorry, and it's up to the owner to fight to get it back. In other words, the burden shifts to the property owner, who is Diddy, who has to prove his innocence and claim that they didn't know their property was being used for illegal activity. Now, what happened to Star Island? I don't recall. I wasn't into that Diddy case like that. I know some people was all thrown up in through. Probably could tell you what the man backside looked like. I didn't give a damn like that. You just tell me what he gets sentenced to if he gets sentenced. So criminal fortitude, on the other hand, comes only after a conviction. So it's typically imposed as part of a sentence alongside prison time or fines. The assets targeted in that process are limited to those directly tied to the proven crime. But civil fortitude is far broader, and that's what makes it exceptionally dangerous for someone like Diddy, who owns multiple high-value assets now under scrutiny. In the case of prostitution and trafficking, prosecutors have the power to seize nearly anything connected to the crime. That includes proceeds like cash or bank accounts, as well as what's known as facilitating property. Things like vehicles, homes, and businesses that help enable the conduct. Even smaller items like phones, computers, and recording equipment can be taken if investigators believe they played a role in organizing or documenting the illegal activity. These seized assets don't just sit in storage. In many states and federal programs, the money from fortitude goes directly to fund law enforcement agencies or programs for victims of trafficking and exploitation. That creates a strong financial incentive for the government to proceed and pursue these type of cases aggressively, which is true because, yeah, you hear that? Somebody got to pay for the ball. Somebody got to pay for the Christmas dinners, the beans, greens. Yeah. She claimed that the mansions were, let's see here. Okay. According to the testimony, so this is why Diddy's, the mansions are why they're in danger, why they're in serious danger. So according to the testimony in Diddy's sex trafficking trial in New York, his Miami mansion wasn't just a home, it was allegedly a hub for what witnesses describe as drug-fueled freak-off parties. One of the women testifying under the pseudonym Jane told the court that just weeks before his arrest, Diddy was still hosting these marathon parties while federal investigators were already closing in. I'm not laughing at her. Y'all know I'm not laughing at her. But it's like, I think he just felt that he was just untouchable. And it was just like he had been doing it for so long where he was just like, what do you mean? Okay, they've been investigating me. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think he probably already had in his mind, like, they've been investigating me. Like, they've been trying to get your boy. So why am I not about to have my freak offs? I'm about to stop having what if he would have stopped having his freak off the first time he heard that they was investigating him? We wouldn't be where we at right now. The thing is, Diddy didn't care. He didn't care. So the witness Jane She claimed that the mansion was centered to the operations, the location where some of the most disturbing incidents took place. That allegation, if supported by evidence, could give federal agents exactly what they need to seize the property under the civil fortitude laws. Now, federal prosecutors have already seized $9,000 in cash, along with dozens of phones, computers, and hard drives. But sources close to Diddy's legal team say they expect an official move against the Miami estate to come soon. If the government can convince a court that Diddy's property was used to facilitate illegal activities, or that it represents proceeds from criminal activity, the house could be taken even before his trial ends. So basically, the bottom line is civil fortitude is one of the government's most powerful and controversial tools. In Diddy's case, it means that even without conviction, he can lose some of his most prized possessions, including his Star Island mansion, a crown jewel of Miami luxury real estate. Yeah, you seen it. And I think he got the one next door, too. Remember in the song his son did, where he was like, oh, they came in the house, but the wrong house? Yeah, that was smart. For years, Diddy's empire had symbolized success, extravaganza, and influence. But as prosecutors ramp up their case, the very homes and assets that once showcased his power could soon be used as evidence of his downfall. Damn. Well, I guess that's just how the cookie crumbles. Moving on. So Cassie, speaking of crumbling, so one of the male escorts in that whole situation, you know he's suing Cassie, right? Did you? You didn't know that? You sure you didn't know that? Are you acting like you didn't know that? Oh, my bad. Okay, you knew. Calm down. All right. Damn. Turn that chicken over. So anyway, the Diddy scandal just refused to die down. Even after the music mogul's high-profile trial wrapped up, the new drama is erupting and unfolding at this time. Cassie is finding herself caught in the middle. Child. So, let me stop this for a play. I don't want this to play. Hold on. Okay. So, the streets is talking. And what are the streets saying? The streets are saying that one of the men federal prosecutors identified as a male escort in Diddy's criminal case is now stepping forward with wild new allegations. And he's not just coming for Diddy Pooh, he coming for Cassie too. Did she just have a baby? Well, they need to let that lady lay down. So this is what's going on. So the man, his name is Clayton Howard, says he was one of several men who were allegedly brought in to take part in the famous freak-offs, those drug-fused sex parties that became the center focus of Diddy's downfall. Howard, who says he went by the name David at the time, is now speaking out publicly about what he claims went down behind the closed door. All right, so let me let y'all hear this. Hold on. Okay, so let me let y'all hear this. Well, let us hear this, child, because I don't know.
Based on the way things went, what do I think Diddy should got? Based on the way this was handled, I think Diddy should have went home. That's the truth. I'm sorry, people are going to say, how could you say that? But they maliciously prosecuted him. They totally fabricated a narrative, and they tried to use these women's criminality and give them a get out of jail free card with a domestic violence incident to say they weren't co-conspirators. And I think that was wrong. So in the interest of justice, I think Diddy should have went home. He should have got a program, some domestic violence counseling, and that should have been the end of it. As far as Cassie getting time, I don't even think about her, because me thinking about her getting time or getting charged is me being vengeful. I'm not after vengeance. I'm after justice. You did this to me. I want justice. I want it to be acknowledged that you did to me the same thing you're saying that Sean Combs did to you. Because the truth,
the man is hurt and the man wants satisfaction. He wants satisfaction. But let me let you go ahead on. Now, this was on The Art of Dialogue. You can catch them on YouTube. They always upload like some really good interviews.
Truth is, in those freak offs, he didn't make her have sex, but she made me have sex. That's a fact. She made me stand there and jerk my penis to the point where the skin used to break. That was.
Wait a minute now. I wasn't ready for that. So if you got me, All right.
Her. No, come on, keep doing it. Come on, I like to watch it. You have such a beautiful dick. This is Cassie talking to me. Diddy wasn't sitting there doing this. Cassie was doing this. Diddy would be high on ketamine, passed out in the damn corner while she was doing some of this stuff. So Cassie should have definitely been more culpable than she actually was. The cards just didn't play like that. They granted her immunity for her testimony, so it wouldn't matter if I went to 100 precincts. She's never going to be criminally charged with this. The only chance I have, as we know, art as African Americans, is the civil courts. That's it. So I'm going to take my chances. She's never going to go to jail. I don't wish her jail, but I do wish she be held accountable, and I'm going to do my best to make sure she's held accountable.
That man wants satisfaction, and he's going to, I don't know if he's going to get it or not, but that's what he's looking for. So, yeah. So, like he said, according to him, Cassie wants, oh, wait a minute. Well, let me read this here, because I thought they was about to just kind of recap what he said in the little thing, but let me go ahead on. Okay. So, according to Howard, are you listening? According to Howard, his encounters with Cassie were not only degrading but physically damaging. In a shocking statement, he said that Cassie once broke his thing during one of their encounters. I want justice. Told y'all. I want Cassie to admit that she did the same thing to me that Diddy did to her. Howard went on to describe what he called a disturbing dynamic between him and Cassie. Diddy didn't make her have sex, but Cassie made me have sex. She used to make me stand there and what he said. And then he said the experience left him humiliated and in physical pain. Now, the shocking claim adds yet another layer of the scandal to another layer. What is it? Okay, the shocking claim adds yet another layer of scandal to a saga that's already rocking the entertainment world. Howard's story paints a darker and more complicated picture of Cassie, one that goes far beyond her public image as Diddy's former protege and long-term girlfriend, who later accused him of years of abuse. Now, during Diddy's trial, federal prosecutors said that at least 7 male escorts were transported across state lines for what they described as sex work connected to Diddy's private parties. Howard was allegedly one of them, and his name appeared in investigative materials as one of the several men paid through, luxury service companies tied to Diddy's team. Now, while much of the public narrative has focused on Cassie as a victim, Howard's claims flip that story upside down. He insists that Cassie had power and control during their encounters and that she used that power in ways that left lasting scars. Wow. He kept going back, though. So far, neither Diddy's camp nor Cassie's team has responded publicly to Howard's allegations, but sources close to both say they're aware of the claims and expect things to get uglier before they get better. You got that right. It's not the first time Cassie's name has been drawn back into the headlines since Diddy's trial. After she settled her own lawsuit against him last year, a case that accused Diddy of abuse, trafficking, and coercion, Cassie largely stayed out of the spotlight, but in the wake of the trial, former associates, witnesses, and now this male escort coming forward with new and often conflicting stories about what went on inside Diddy's secretive inner circle. Those who worked around Diddy in recent years have described an atmosphere that was part Hollywood glamour, part underground chaos. Behind the glitz, there were whispers about the freak-offs, private events that were reportedly involving both men and women being paid or pressured to take part in sex acts for Diddy's amusement. Cassie, who had been by his side for years, was often described as being present at or involved in those incidents. Howard's account brings those whispers into sharper focus with what he described in not just access but humiliation, something that mirrors the kind of abuse Cassie once said she suffered under Diddy. Only now the roles appear to be reversed. I want people to know the truth, he said. Everyone feels sorry for her, but she did things to me that were as bad as what she's accusing Diddy of. Whether or not Howard's claims ever make it to a courtroom. They've already ignited a fresh round of conversation for two people who had seemed to be closing their chapters of, who seemed to be closing this chapter in their life, right? So Cassie has tried to move forward quietly, and Diddy is still facing the fallout from his criminal conviction and assets being seized. But with new accusations coming from one of the men once inside of their inner circle, both may soon find themselves back in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Why would they just send me that like that? Close that out. Now that's just so rude. What y'all think about that? Y'all think she gonna go ahead on and quietly pay him off? I mean, I would if I was her. You get what I'm saying? Like, just go on and pay the man off. Like, go on ahead on. Let me go and settle out of court with you right now. Don't care what the people think, because the people gonna think what they want anyway, right? So it is what it is, right? Right? Right. All right. So moving on. Oh, let me tell y'all. So I want to start doing on Sundays. I'm gonna be doing a legendary episode where I'm gonna just go through like different legends and just highlight and stuff like that. So just check it out. So moving on to legends and highlighting. I am on the road with connecting these dots. Kim Zolciak. Y'all remember Kim Zolciak from the Real Housewives of Atlanta? You know, the white lady with the blonde hair. She was dating Big Papa. He was married. She was his mistress. Then she got with Croy Biermann. Yeah. And now they back and forth. 1 minute they divorce and 1 minute they not divorcing. 1 minute it's just a mess. But anyway, so her daughter, Adrian, she is still slamming her mother. Because, she already said that her mama took all her money and was paying bills with it. Nah, I'm just going to say, that ain't nothing new. Black families been doing that. I'm just saying. I remember, never mind. Anyway, let me move on. I don't want my mama to hear this. So Ariana, that's her youngest daughter, I believe, because I think she got the two girls, and then I think with Croy she have all boys. If not, the two daughters she had previously, the youngest one, right? The one we met her with. When we met her, she had just two children. So the youngest of those two is setting the record straight about her missing freckles and the astonishing reason behind their disappearance. Because I do remember she had freckles because she was a little short, little fat little thing, I believe. So the next gen New York City, the next gen NYC star, 23. Dang, we're getting old. Opened up to fans on Instagram about how her mom, Real Housewives of Atlanta alum Kim Zolciak, 47, allegedly had her freckles lasered off when she was just 14 without her permission. Wow, that's crazy. She says, every time I do my makeup, whether it's a full face or just a little bit, I always put on freckles. That's crazy. So let's hear her video. I think this is a video, so let me see.
Every time I do my makeup, whether it's like a full face, just like a little bit, I always put on freckles. Every time I do it, it makes me think of the fact that I would not be putting on these freckles had my mother not have gotten rid of my freckles when I was 14. My mom sent me to get a facial, and I was like, okay, going to get a facial, whatever. And my friend's like, girl, where are your freckles going? I'm like, what are you talking about? Facial girl's like, your mom told me that you didn't like them and you wanted me to remove them, like with the facial, lasering them off. What? I love my freckles. Well, I have some on one side of my face more than the other. Still just not a lot at all. So now I put them on. I was on the phone with my mom the other day and she just started laughing. It's like, you're a jackass. Like, now I add them onto my face because I don't have them anymore because somebody removed them. I didn't want them removed. Nobody said. Literally nobody said. So now I'm constantly stamping them on and trying to make them look even just remotely like what mine looked like growing up. I miss my freckles. What, Mom? You're a jackass for that. I love you, but insane.
Well, all right then. Yeah. So yeah. I think that is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. That that that's that's absolutely crazy. I don't think Kim responded because I tried to see if she responded to anything, but let's see here. So yeah. So everybody kind of has the same thing, but let's take a listen to this video.
The bundle with Spectrum One saves us at least $100 a month.
Throw a little commercial in on your child. We ain't got time for that. So let's see what this is, because it looks messy. So let's see. Thank you. Share, like, and subscribe, please. Thank you.
From labels.
Oh, there go another commercial. I thought I was trying to hurry up, sneak a little commercial in myself.
Every single product.
Oh, okay. No, they just talking about how Kim and her husband, they have to leave their home. They were forced to move out by the marshals. Yeah. Ain't that something? Forced to leave their Atlanta mansion by the U.S. Marshals. The couple estate was sold at an auction in December 2024, and the new owners began the legal process to remove them. Now, in April, 4 deputy marshals arrived. By the evening in court, they were ejected from the residence. Now, you know what? That's a shame. That's a shame when and I get it. I get it. So I don't want you to think I don't get it. But here's the thing. You gotta go somewhere. And I get you ain't got nowhere to go. But if they ain't got nowhere to go either, then why? You get what I'm saying? I don't know what happened with all that money they had. Because I know he had his NFL career. And then she had, oh, I heard, you know what? You know, they allegedly she had a gambling issue. But whatever. Whatever. So, speaking of gambling, let's talk about the whole Bad Bunny Super Bowl thing. So, Bad Bunny's upcoming Super Bowl halftime show has folks losing their MAGA-loving minds, child. So, from the moment that Jay-Z's Rock Nation announced that the biggest streaming artist on the globe would be bringing his talents to the Levi Stadium. Isn't it cute? Levi Stadium, Levi jeans, Beyonce, Jay-Z. You know, the basket of deplorables have rushed to the microphones and keyboards to reconfirm what we already knew. They are indeed deplorable. Take NFL Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson, who was asked by TMZ for his thoughts on the performance. Hold on, let me let y'all hear.
Let's talk about the Super Bowl halftime show. There's all this controversy over it. However, what do you think musically? Do you think it was a good choice?
Well, first of all, I don't even know who the hell the guy is. I've never heard of him. I'm not even big into music anymore. What's his name?
Bad Bunny.
What the hell is Bad Bunny sing? I would know one thing.
I don't know any songs myself.
I don't know one of Bad Bunny's songs, but if Bad Bunny don't like the United States, keep his ass where he at. Don't.
Now, why they keep saying that man don't like the United States? He's from Puerto Rico. The Puerto Rico is in America. Well, it's part of the United States. What are we talking about here?
Come on, this singing. I'm not surprised the NFL to do something like this. You know, that's how they have that political crap. They like they good guys and they not. But you know, Bad Bunny keep his. Where's Bad Bunny from?
He's from Puerto Rico.
Keep Puerto Rico. You don't want to. If you don't like the U.S., keep his ass over there.
Apparently, well, Puerto Rico is part of the U.S.
I know, but still, if you don't want, he don't like the U.S. I mean, don't come in and perform.
A lot of people, parents are kind of up in arms because some of his content's kind of adult.
Yeah.
He talks about partying, women, this and that. You know, what do you make of that? Is that okay?
Well, I mean, what songs don't? I mean, what about the rappers? I mean, you know, hey, like I said, I mean, I heard some stuff he said about the United States. So, you know, I'm from the U.S. I love my country.
What did he say about the U.S.? That he would not perform, you know, he wouldn't do concerts because he didn't want his people to, you know, possibly get detained leaving due to the instability and chaos that's going on right now?
If you don't like the United States, get your ass out there, don't come over here.
Do you think the NFL kind of puts this in place so people have conversations to make controversy? It seems like sometimes they might do that, right?
The NFL is crooked than the federal government. Way crooked than the for federal government ever be. So I mean, you know, I know the NFL is. They don't care nothing about their players. You know, they
So corruption from the top.
Don't even give me on
no,
that.
I know.
Yeah.
We know that the elites all over are pretty corrupt, right?
Yeah.
Money makes people corrupt.
Right.
Would you
NFL
say?
NFL is ultra corrupt.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true. You know, Bad Bunny says something about the U.S. You know, don't come here.
I want them to say it. Instead of people saying, well, he said something, just say it. Well, he made this comment and I felt offended. Because sometimes when you say it out loud and you try to defend it, it makes you look. You ever argue with somebody, well, not argue, but you ever just ask a Trump fan something, like a Trump supporter something, and they immediately get angry? And you know, what you getting mad for? I'm not even into politics. I'm just asking a question. What policies he put into place you like? What you getting mad for? Jesus.
Yeah. Don't come here. You know, stay in your country. I mean, I know the U.S. Puerto Rico is part of the U.S., but it's not the U.S. That's what I look at it. You know.
You know what? I don't like how he said that. Well, Puerto Rico is part of the U.S., but not really part. That's no different than somebody saying you're 3/5 of an American or you 3/5 of a person. You know, you are a person, but you're not. You know, you're not white, so you're not a full person. You get what I'm saying? I hate those little low-key, racist, bigoted type comments. You get what I'm saying? That's what's wrong with people now. Everybody want to be above somebody. You know? Ridiculous.
That's what I mean. I just feel like that. You know, they get these performers and they say all this controversial stuff about the United States, like they hate the U.S. and all that kind of stuff. And if you hate the U.S., don't come here.
You know what? The pot calling the kettle black, because you do have these people who say all this controversial stuff. He said a whole bunch of nothing. Anyway, so recently the hate went federal as Donald Trump and Speaker of the House Mike Johnson both voiced their opinions about Bad Bunny's performance. So Donald Trump said, "I've never heard of him. I don't know who he is. I don't know why they're doing it. It's crazy." And then they blame it on some promoter they hired to pick up entertainment. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. So it's crazy and ridiculous, even though you don't know who he is. That makes sense, right? Also, what was the last bit about blaming on some promoter they hired to pick up entertainment? He talking about Jay-Z? Okay, surely Trump knows who Jay-Z is and that he is in charge of the halftime entertainment. But y'all know Jay-Z is not the final decision on that, right? Oh, okay, right. Why didn't he just say his name? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So as for Mike Johnson, here's what he told a reporter about Bad Bunny. So according to The Hill, via journalist Pablo Martinez, I didn't even know who Bad Bunny was, but it sounds like a terrible decision in my view. Yeah, okay. So Johnson didn't just decry Bad Bunny. He offered his own suggestion of who he would want to see playing for halftime. God Bless the USA singer Lee Greenwood. Oh my God. As vibeless as that sounds, there's been no mention of whether or not Roc Nation will continue to proceed and manage the halftime show. The original 2019 deal was set for 5 years and should have ended in 2024, but the outfit continued to produce the show in 2025 and 2026. Should this be the final year of the Roc Nation's involvement, we're likely to see many whiter artists take the stage in the subsequent years. Listen, they can do whatever they want, because here's the thing. The whole purpose of the Super Bowl halftime was because, In Living Color was doing well, and they wanted to knock off their ratings, so they brought Michael Jackson in, and then that just created this whole Super Bowl, gotta watch who's going to be there. But you go ahead on and put whoever the hell you want. It don't matter. If people going to watch, they're going to watch. If they're not going to watch, you're just going to see a drop. Like when Beyonce had uploaded that song during the Super Bowl and they seen a drop in the viewership because everybody paused because they wanted to see what the Queen was putting on. Then everybody went back to the football game. It'll be the same thing. So you do whatever you want. Yeah, that's y'all losing money. Ooh, that's y'all. So now let's move on to people losing money and respect. So Cam Newton is one step closer to taking over for Nick Cannon as Hollywood's most ubiquitous baby daddy. Now, the former Carolina Panther revealed that he welcomed another child during an appearance on the Tamron Howell Show, which is set to premiere Thursday, October the 16th. While this is his second child with girlfriend Jasmine Brown, this will be his 9th child in total. So we're expecting your baby. So Tamron said to him, so we're expecting your 9th baby, to which Newton replied, oh, yeah, he's already here. Howell was shocked to hear that the baby arrived already, leading to the loud audience clapping and all that crap. Brown announced she was pregnant this past May, posting a picture to show off her growing baby bump in a Mother's Day post on Instagram. In the shot, Jasmine cuddled, she's looking at how cute her baby bump with on there, showing off in a little white robe and stuff. She said, feeling all the love, kicks and elbows. Cheers to our growing tribe. You know what? If you like it, I love it, child. Brown and Newton are already parents to a baby girl born March 2024. The former NFL player is also the dad to 7 other kids. He shares 4 children with his ex-girlfriend Kia. I'm not about to go through all these kids' names. And helps raise Proctor's older daughter. Okay, she had a kid before she met her. Oh, okay, cool. The athlete also shares 2 kids with a photographer. They have a son, and then they have 2 sons. So he got 2 sons with a photographer. The comedian and actress first confirmed her relationship with Newton at the Milan Fashion Week in 2022, back in February. Newton spoke with People ahead of Super Bowl, and he shared that he was hoping to have his 9th baby. What is up with these men wanting to just create? I mean, I get it, procreate, but God, I guess. And not a wedding ring in sight, but I guess marriage don't really mean too much of nothing, to be honest with you. Sometimes that actually ruin a relationship. You ever seen when people get married and then like they divorce like immediately after that? Let me tell y'all something. Oh, wait a minute, hold on.
Hello. Hey, how y'all doing? So, I know somebody who was in a relationship for like 6, 7 years, and then they got married. I mean, they had a kid together and everything, right? And then they got married, and then they separated, I want to say 2 days or 3 days after, and then they divorced. And then he went on and remarried, and he's been married to his second wife for like, I don't know, years now? But anyway, let me go ahead on and let her get back on the mic.
Oh, that was interesting.
Yeah, it was. Very interesting. I scared you didn't. That was my bearded white voice. So anyway, Newton and Brown have been in their fair share of controversy, over the years with navigating their relationship. Earlier this month, Cam revealed that he asked his girlfriend to share her body count, sparking some backlash online. On the latest episode of his podcast, Funky Friday, he told his guest actress Parker McKinney Posey that he wanted to know. Wait a minute now. Let's listen to this.
I make a nigga very insecure. Everything about me makes a man insecure. I don't know why, because I'm a faithful woman.
Let's see if we could get to where he asked her, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be able to do all that. But anyway, so what they saying is, so they pulled it out, and he said, okay, so Nicole, what's her name? Parker. Okay, so Parker said, of who she fucked, oh, wait a minute, my bad, of who she effed, and then he said, I needed to know, I have to know. I want to know before, because before I sit up here and really keep moving and elevating our relationship, I want to know who got one up on me and if I'm willing to take on that burden. If you had any type of relationship, intimacy experience with people that I really know, I need to know that I'm owed that. That is weird. He went on to say, but this is what I want women to understand. If she had been with somebody that was close to me, I would have had to respectfully, I'm not there yet. I can't carry that weight yet. You cool, you're beautiful, but baby, that's my teammate. Baby, we see each other too much. We're in the same rooms. Okay. And even though he a good dude, my ego is gonna be hurt. Okay. That he seems like a very exhausting man. You know, like very exhausting. So while viewers were upset about his comments, Brown hopped in the comments to respond per the Jasmine Brown writing. I actually love the fact that he has my list. Such a weight off my chest. Girl, that man can't do no wrong in her eyes, child. Ain't no way I be living in no mansion when my man got millions and I'm cleaning and cooking. Don't get me wrong. No, I want you to understand me totally. If the man really love you and he got millions, he not gonna want you to do nothing but rest your pretty head. I want you to always look very rested when I see you. You understand what I'm saying? He gonna want to see you just always looking like sunshine. You know, Harlem Nights sunshine. I'm not cleaning no 37,000 square foot home. Y'all seen Portia Williams out there? How many times she laid down in that backyard? And that backyard wasn't all that big. She was sweeping some. Maybe she just need to work out. I don't know. Anyway, so let's move on to some public displays of sexiness. So Aaron Pierre had everyone sweating on Wednesday. Child, when he took to Instagram with a few selfies, y'all see him going through them? He said, here in their world, he showed off. Child, he showed off. And he had a picture of him looking real fine in the 90s. I ain't cropped that for y'all. I just kept that for myself. While all the pictures were in like a carousel, they were thirsty ones. The second one, which is the one that you could see when it go across with him with the stomach out, that's the one that's drawing up everybody's attention. Now, Pierre posted a picture up there in the bathroom wearing nothing but that white towel wrapped around his wrist, around that waist, showing off that serious sculpted physique. That man is fine. You know them fans rush to them comments and send their appreciation for them photos, but all gushing was overshadowed when Teyana went on up in there. Child, she went and posted and it was like, can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? I ain't mad at her. Since going public with their relationship, Teyana and Pierre have not been shy about showing off their love for one another. During an appearance on the Sherry Shepherd show, Teyana opened up about their relationship and why she's always focused on her apple pie. Now, I like that name, regardless of who else is in the room. She said, and I quote, Luther said, never too much, right? Never too much apple pie. Did you see my apple pie? My eye is on my prize. When we understand what the prize is, we're not worried about if anyone is stepping outside of that prize trying to look for another. And I ain't, child, when you claim it, it's yours. I ain't mad at that girl. That girl deserves some happiness after all that boy put her through. I'll let that boy put her through. So y'all know they say, people not letting ice go in their bathrooms and stuff. Yeah, child. They ain't letting them go in there. They ain't letting them at all. Oh, child, I almost been here 53 minutes. Okay, so listen. So I appreciate you guys clicking on the video, but I don't want to hold you here too long. Plus, I got to kind of get myself together for this 4-hour thing. I'm trying to do a 4-hour video. I'm building on up. But I do plan on having this video for Friday at 7 or 7:30. I'm going to post it. I don't know if I'm going to do it live or I'm going to post it. I don't know if I'm going to pre-record it or if I'm going to just go live. But now I'm going to probably pre-record it because it's going to it's going to be a pre-record. But it's going to, I'm going to do the Golden Girls. So my first episode is going to be on the Golden Girls because I really love the Golden Girls, right? I know every episode, listen, I'm to the point where I can tell you how many black people was on there, throughout the whole 7 seasons. I can tell you how. You listen. I know. But anyway, so yeah, I look at them. They so cute. You know, it's sad with all that girl had to go through. But damn, life is hard sometimes, and you know, she got out of it. You know, so we gotta be thankful for that. She gotta be thankful for that. She got out of it. But yes, I would like to thank you for tuning in and rocking with me. Consistency is key, and I will be here as long as you are. So talk to you later. I know that this is it.